talk a little boxing on this Thursday from our good friends at MasonsBoxingUSA.com. Check them out online. 100% handmade. They got great gear, merchandise, the gloves, everything made in Italy. They're doing a great job. They have a very good-looking young and up-and-coming amateur, Ali Rosen, kind enough to join us for a couple moments from Canada, but via Miami, hanging out, enjoying the sun, but now back in Canada, but joining us for a couple moments. How you been, Ali?
I'm good. How about yourself?
We are doing very well. Appreciate a couple moments. And, you know, it's interesting, too. By the way, I just found out, we'll get into the hockey momentarily. We'll save that until
Okay.
the end. But very impressive background here. I know that you only have about 9-10 AMI fights under your belt, but 2 Ontario Golden Gloves titles, Ontario Boxing Association Boxer of the Year, a couple U.S. IBA national titles. You are, and just correct me if I'm wrong, you're getting ready to compete in the Florida Golden Gloves in July?
Yes, the Florida Golden Gloves in July and the Sugarbird Boxing Tournament in June.
Oh, excellent. What do you fight at? You're light welterweight?
Yeah, I'm 141 right now, but I'm going to try to make a move down. We'll see how it goes.
have you realized, though, I mean, you're still relatively young, so I know when it comes to the weight disparity and putting on weight and cutting back weight, I mean, is there anything that you do differently as far as your training regimen?
No, training stays the same. A lot of it is diet-based, but, you know, you got to, like, fuel your body for the performance because you still got to compete optimally. While trying to cut weight. So it's a bit of a puzzle, but it's part of the fun.
And I know Canadian, but yet you're going to school in Florida. I know you're training in Fifth Street Gym at Masons. What do you're Miami? You're the big Miami? You in the U?
I'm in the U. I'm going into my junior year
she's
next
in the
fall.
U. Uh-oh. What are you studying over there?
I'm studying exercise physiology, but I'm pre-med track.
Wow. Now, let me ask you something. How do you balance everything, right? Pre-med, you're doing other things. You got, you have college. You're an amateur. You obviously have aspirations of turning pro. You got a bunch of tournaments. How are you able to kind of put everything and just work out a good schedule for yourself and have that balance?
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of time management for sure. Working out in the morning, school, in between classes, trying to get like some runs in or some lifting, and then most of my boxing is done in the evenings. Then when I get home, it's time to hit the books and do some homework. It's definitely strenuous, but wouldn't trade it for anything. You
know, a lot of Amis that I talk to, a lot of them don't do a ton of sparring, as crazy as it sounds. They do more.
Really?
Yeah, they do. A lot of them, young ones, really starting to, maybe not 10, 11 fights, but they do more or less shadow boxing, mitt work, cardio. I would assume with someone around your age with 10, 11, 12 fights under your belt, the accolades that you already had, sparring's probably a huge component of your regimen. Is it not? Do you get a lot of sparring in during the week?
Yes, lots of sparring. As technique and pad work and all that stuff is really important, but sparring's the real game. That's when you get to take the stuff you learned on the pads and like put it into actual use that you can use when you're in the ring and get comfortable in that environment, because that's the environment you're going to be in.
Now,
it's not going to...
No. I was just going to say, now, all your fights, have they been in Canada or they've also been in the U.S.?
No, they're mixed. I had about seven fights in Ontario. Then I went down to Miami like last year, and I've had 3 fights down there.
And this I'm not aware of. So again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. In Canada, is headgear required for the Amis?
Yes, we have a rule now. It actually just changed. It was 10 fights and under. You have to wear headgear, and then if you have a 75% win average, you're in an elite division, and you could not wear headgear.
So then I would assume if you were to fight in Canada right now with your record, you're probably not using any headgear.
Yeah, no headgear, and I'm planning for hopefully a show in October. So
whereabouts?
No headgear. It actually be in my hometown. I'm pretty fortunate. It's a charity event that's going on, and I agreed to participate in that. It's very, very exciting.
No, that's always good stuff. And again, a very good-looking young boxer on the line with us, Ali Rosen, doing some great things in Canada, in Miami. I know you're hooked up with Masons. I know you're training at the Fifth Street Gym. What's that atmosphere like? What's the difference training in Canada and then being down in Florida, being down south, and the training in those gyms? Is it more intensity? Is it a little more? I don't want to say nastiness, so to speak, but is it more laid out where you were in Canada, or is it a little more fast and moving and shaking down in Florida?
It's a little fast in Florida for sure. You know, I love training up here, but coming down and training at the Fifth Street Gym with all the pros, it's just a different environment. Like, you're pushed by the people around you who are all amazing boxers and athletes.
And how about the relationship you have with Masons and everything? I mean, that's not a bad setup, right? I mean, at least you have some good people in your back.
I'm very thankful for that. It's an awesome setup. Probably the best gloves I've ever used. I used to get split knuckles all the time using those gloves. I've had no injuries. They're great, and it's an awesome setup.
What's the game plan after these tournaments? I mean, are you looking to turn pro early in January 2017 or early in the calendar year? Like the beauty, and the beauty too, and you know this, right? Female boxing. You don't need 10 to 15 pro fights to contend for a world title. You just don't. But what's your game plan for the next year?
Well, Donato, who's also he's with Masons, is my coach. We were talking about it, and we're thinking, you know, after the Sugarbird National Tournament in November, we'd sit down, have a talk, hope for something maybe in January or perhaps in the spring.
Now,
of 2017.
You've been boxing since you were 9, but other combat sports, Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, anything else?
Yeah, I did kickboxing for a while, a little bit of wrestling. I'm a black belt, North American martial arts. And then when I was 16, I made a switch over to boxing and then started competing in like boxing when I was 17 or 18.
Now, Miami's a huge school, so do you let the young boys down there know, hey, listen, I also box? So say a nice guy comes up to you and says, you know what, let's go and have a Coke and a smile, grab something to drink or something, and hang out or go to the beach. Do you let them know up front, listen, boxer, AMI, kickboxing, black belt. Enough said.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the surprise is better. You want to, you kind of, you don't want them to be unprepared. Like,
I hear you.
Off guard a little bit.
Now, listen, before I let you get out of here, and I do appreciate you having a good sense of humor about it, Josh was telling me, my producer, you are a third-generation Capitals fan? Or Canadians fan? Canadians fan.
Yes. Canadians.
All right, because I was about to rip you on the Capitals. Canadians. So how far back do you go? Drop some Canadian knowledge.
Well, I know my dad and my grandpa liked them when they were before they're even the Canadians. They're the Nordiques or something like that. Oh my God, I don't know. Oh my God, I'm gonna get.
Nah, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. People don't understand. It's like where we are in the backyard. You got Rangers fans, you got Devils fans, but this is Flyer territory. How fanatical are the Canadians when it comes to hockey?
Oh, you have to get a game at the Bell Center. It is insane. It's a lot of fun. That's also a fun atmosphere being there at the games. The fans they're true. They bleed red, white, and blue for sure.
All right. Well, look at that.
You gotta come see the Flyers play in the Bell Center.
I did a boxing event a couple years ago, and they kept telling me I was mispronouncing it the wrong way. I kept saying, is it Gatineau or Gatineau?
Gatineau.
Gatineau. There you go. I was saying Gatineau, and they said, no, don't say that. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a little different, but it was fun. I like a little more fast-paced. You guys were a little more laid back and quiet, and that's kind of not how I am. But it was fun.
Not the Quebecois. Oh. I'm laid back and quiet. I'm from Kingston, Ontario. When you get into Quebec territory, they don't sit down.
All right, then you know what? That's my cup of tea. All right, listen. Appreciate a couple moments. The best of luck with school. The best of luck with the tournaments coming up. Definitely keep us posted. If anyone wants to follow you on Twitter or Facebook and Instagram, you want to give yourself a plug, go ahead. If as far as you're doing anything in that regard with social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Ali, ALI, like Muhammad Ali _ Rosen 96 on Instagram and Snapchat.
All right.
Free.
All right. You got it, Ali. I appreciate the time, and good luck with everything, all right?
All right, thank you so much.
All right, you got it, Ali Rosen. Listen, those tournaments that she's talking about in Florida, they are big-time tournaments for Amis. And the fact that she's getting ready to turn pro probably in another year or two is pretty good stuff. Canada's got some very good female fighters. Olivia Grillo is one of them that comes to mind. So good stuff from Mason's Boxing as well.
Mason's Boxing, producing the very best in boxing equipment since 1978, offers fighters custom-made gloves with only the best Italian leather on the market. Handmade in Italy and comprised of horsehair padding, Mason's protects your hands to go the distance. Celebrities and championship-level fighters use Mason's gloves for their elegance, but more importantly for better performance. Approved by the WBC, Mason's gloves are custom-made to your hand. They can be personalized with your name and come in any color. Visit them at masonsboxingusa.com.